Hello, I am Kenneth Kelty, your host of Exceeding Expectations with Kenneth Kelty. I am a person with autism, intellectual, and developmental disabilities. I am an award-winning motivational speaker and activist. In my work, I advocate for self-determination by sharing my life with disabilities. I am very active in inclusive higher educational opportunities for students with IDD and meaningful experiences throughout their lives. We have the pleasure of listening to the keynote speakers at the State of the Art Conference on Inclusive Post-Secondary Education Conference, aka SOTA. This event took place on Tuesday, October 29th, 2024 at the Friday Center in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. This will be a two-part podcast episode. First, with Rehabilitation Services Administration Commissioner Dante Allen. Then you will hear from the student panel led by yours truly, Kenneth Kelty, with an introduction from Dr. Kelly Kelly of Western Carolina University, NC. We will also hear from Beth Myers, Executive Director of Tasoff Center and Professor at Syracuse University.
Earlier this year, Commissioner Allen released some really exciting guidance around using VR across state lines, which would lead to more college access and more college choice for students with intellectual disability. After his keynote address, the commissioner will participate in listening sessions for programs and students. Please check the agenda if you would like to attend. We are so thrilled to have Commissioner here, and thank you very much. So I'd like to introduce Commissioner Dante Allen.
Good morning. Thank you, Beth, and good morning to everyone. I am so happy to be here this morning. In fact, I can't think of a better place than to spend the last few days of October, which is also National Disability Employment Awareness Month, than at this conference with you. We know that NDEAM officially takes place in October, but in RSA, we're committed to upholding its message all year long to ensure that individuals with disabilities have access to good jobs every month of every year, and nobody knows better than this group, right? Before I get into my remarks, there are a couple of things I'd like to do first, and the first is to acknowledge a couple of people. I've already thanked Beth, but thank you again, Beth, and Stephanie Lee Smith, and to Carly Grafassi for inviting me to join you today, and for helping me to prepare. I definitely appreciate the opportunity and your support. Second, I want to thank those of you with an intellectual disability and any family members who are joining us today. It's your experiences, your advocacy, your fight, and your persistence that makes all of this possible. Thank you for fighting for a more just and equitable society. And third, I'd like to note that my heart and mind, as well as my colleagues at RSA, are with those individuals whose lives were impacted by Hurricane Helene on the other side of North Carolina. We'll do whatever we can to provide support to those communities that were affected. Also wanted to tell you a little bit about my background and what brings me here. Throughout my life, I've endeavored both personally and professionally to demonstrate that living a life with a disability should not limit what we can aspire to be. 3 decades ago, and I know that sounds like a long time ago, but it feels like just yesterday, I went to the California Department of Rehabilitation seeking support to find my first job. And they helped me figure out that what I had done in my education and training, how I could actually get paid and make a living for that. And I think I turned out okay. After a career in both the private and public sector, and then with CalAble, I was honored to have been nominated by President Biden and confirmed by the U.S. Senate last December to serve as commissioner of the RSA. Thank you. And I'm so thankful for this opportunity to attend my first SOTA conference and to join forces with all of you as we redefine what it means to be a working individual with a disability. I'd also like to share a bit about what we do at RSA. Essentially, our job is to provide individuals with all types of disabilities the education, the training, and the opportunity to work. And we're talking about vocational rehabilitation. We're talking about services noted in an individualized plan for employment, or an IPE, that are necessary to assist individuals with disabilities in preparing for securing, retaining, or even regaining an employment outcome that is consistent with their strengths, their priorities, their concerns, their abilities, their capabilities, and their interests. Or as I like to think about it, helping people get good jobs to get quality employment. And we do that by maximizing those VR services and achieving, without compromise, competitive integrated employment. We want salaries and benefits to be in line with the job and with those received by our peers without disabilities. We want to work shoulder to shoulder with everyone else in our communities, and we achieve this by pursuing our education as far as we can, and when it doesn't go far enough, we blaze new trails. One of those newer trails is inclusive post-secondary education programs for students with intellectual disabilities. And we know that IPSIs are a great option for some VR participants. Most of these programs embrace high expectations and provide valuable opportunities for individuals with intellectual disabilities to gain skills that will maximize their opportunities for achieving employment, including competitive integrated employment. Those are the outcomes we want to see. And I will reiterate, VR funds can be used to support a student with a disability in an IPSI program, provided that yes. Provided that the decision to opt for an IPSI program is the result of the IPE process and in fact included on the IPE. In other words, an IPSI program is an example of a post-secondary option for which the VR program could provide assistance to students and youth with intellectual disabilities when appropriate and agreed to on their approved IPE. And to be clear, VR support of students attending IPSI programs extends to out-of-state options. VR agencies must support each participant's informed choice with regard to services. This includes post-secondary education and providing out-of-state services that meet their individualized needs and according with their signed IPE. By optimizing flexibility in policies and maximizing investments in the provision of high-quality training and services, such as out-of-state IPSI programs that are best suited to the needs of VR participants, state VR agencies can promote sustained engagement and greater participant satisfaction and maximize quality services, leading to the achievement of competitive integrated employment, independence, and self-sufficiency. It's important to note, and you've likely already picked up on this, that this work, for it to be successful, must include all of us. Schools, VR agencies, students, and their families must all come together to develop and successfully implement an IPE that meets the students' needs, goals, and reflects their informed choice. When those IPEs include IPSI programs, they too must work with these key stakeholders to successfully fulfill their responsibilities to their students. I am pleased to see that several VR agencies, all of which are funded by RSA, are already collaborating with IPSI programs. In Colorado, the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation is working closely with colleges and universities that have IPSI programs. DVR is also collaborating with Pathways to Inclusive Higher Education, which is an organization that is seeking to create inclusive college opportunities in Colorado for students with intellectual disabilities to foster academic growth, social development, and career advancement. In Oklahoma, there are 4 higher education programs for students with intellectual disabilities. The State Department of Rehabilitation Services has an active contract with all 4. 3 are certificate programs and 1 is a degree-seeking program targeted towards students who have autism. There are some key lessons we can take away from these successes. It's okay to start small, tap into the expertise and experiences from other states and stakeholders, make sure you are communicating with clear, timely, and accurate information to your partners. I am also pleased to note that RSA's discretionary grants are also supporting IPSI programs. It is my distinct pleasure to have joined you today. I'm looking forward to the listening sessions, and I really want to wish you all a great SOTA conference. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. So, some really great messages for all of us.
Since the conference last October, former Commissioner Dante Allen is now part of the executive leadership team for the California Department of Rehabilitation. He now holds the title of Deputy Director, Legislation and Communications Division. With the new administration that has taken office since before the conference, unfortunately, we are all worried about what our future holds with funding.